To build the framework for our upcoming winter outlook, let's quickly review what we experienced last winter. It was quite warm in one for the record books, nearly 7 degrees above average, 6 to 7 degrees in the high and low temperature department. The only real cold spell that we can have to discuss whenever it was that Arctic outbreak approaching the Christmas holiday through December. Warmest spell early on this past year of February of 2023. It was also one for the record books for the lack of snowfall. On average, we see roughly 33 inches of snowfall, but last winter, well, we only measured 1 inch outside of the 7 News studios here in downtown Wheeling. Now, I do expect that to change, at least an uptick in the snow totals. Now, what can we expect for the 23-24 winter outlook? Well, we'll discuss what El Nino is, the change in pattern comparative to the last several years. We'll also discuss some other factors that the StormTracker7 team has been keeping an eye on. And then, of course, give you the overall outlook. But first, for more about the impact of El Nino for the Ohio River Valley, we'll send things over to meteorologist Tyler Vangie.
Well, hey there, Ohio Valley meteorologist Tyler Vangie here to talk to you about that El Nino winter that's in store for us this year. Now, thinking back over the past few years, just to get you caught up, we had a La Nina setup. That's a little bit different when we look down towards South America. Why are we talking about South America? Well, that's where the El Nino originates. That warmth is going to continue to travel westerly along the Pacific. Now, how does that affect us here in North America? Well, we look off across the West Coast. Definitely some cold, dense air is going to continue to pump down through Central Pacific, but the warm air continues to ridge over the West Coast. So we have to expect the same thing that we see over there into the Pacific. The cold air is going to continue to push down right across the Ohio Valley, but how does the moisture affect us? Well, we turn toward a more drier pattern as we head through this El Nino winter, but it's not out of the realm of possibility to see some of this moisture with a very meridional or wavy pattern to pick up some of that moisture with our Alberta Clippers, not to mention right over the lakes to produce those robust snowstorms as we head through this winter. So drier than normal, but not out of the realm of possibility to see those more robust snowstorms. In terms of more variables that we look at in terms of these El Nino winters, we send it over to meteorologist Adam Fike.
Oh, now we can continue to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and get a good idea of what the image of winter is actually going to look like. And to start off, we got to look at low pressure off the Gulf of Alaska. That's thanks to high pressure that moves up the west coast and up into parts of Canada. That's going to keep much of the western United States pretty above average and dry for much of the winter. But across the south, we see that low pressure thanks to our positive PNA. This means the Carolinas, Florida, the Mississippi Valley, really much of the southeast should see an increase in storm, even severe storm chances, but it's also going to see cooler and wetter conditions. But since the general track of the storms is more off the coast rather than inland, this means spots like New York, Boston, Philly, and DC are likely going to see our biggest snowstorms this year, or us here in the valley, we're in that pink shade, sort of the battle zone. Well, now that we have all the pieces of the puzzle together, we can finally get a look at what we can really expect from that battle zone this year. Normally, we see about 40 days of snow. That's pretty much what we're going to see this year. Just about 30 days with flurries or those lake effect snow showers. But thanks to that positive PNA, we're expecting less of those big time snows, but that just means we should see a little bit more in those way of those Alberta Clippers that just give us roughly 1 to 3 inches, especially through the month of December. But what's in store for December? It's pretty much going to be that roller coaster for winter. We're going to be up and down. It's like driving through I-70 construction, a constant start and stop, back and forth patterns. So expect temperatures pretty much around average. We'll spend equal days above average, equal days below average. But we will likely see above average precipitation, just about average snowfall. And if you're going to see any of these big time storms, likely going to be at the end of the month of December and the beginning of January.
Especially speaking of January, heading into the new year, that is exactly what I want to hear because I am, of course, the snow lover. How about the January outlook itself? Near average whenever it comes into our temperatures, above average precipitation, but snowfall, what I like to hear, just around average.
In terms of February, that's my birthday month. Everyone knows I love the warmth, and that's exactly what's in store for this February. Above average temperatures, but if you like the snow, that's not setting up for this February. We're going to lack thereof as well.
Whenever it comes into totality, all things winter related, you know you can trust StormTracker7 to keep you updated online, on air, and of course our website, WTRF.com. Reporting at the Weather Desk in the 7 News studio, I'm Chief Meteorologist Zach Petty.
I'm meteorologist Adam Fike.
And I'm meteorologist Tyler Vangie.
Thanks, guys. Well, the final piece of weather information they wanted to share and that I wanted to know is just how much snow we'll be getting this winter. The StormTracker7 meteorologists expect around 25 to 35 inches through the month of March. That's much more than that 1 inch of snow we measured last year. Now, I won't be too happy, but I know Zach will be happy if this forecast holds up.